Hello and welcome to another episode of Elktech. I'm your host Brian, and today we're starting our first video in our series, Basic Computer Components and how it works. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the computer and how it works and all the components that are that make up your computer. So today we're going to start with the computer case. So the case is really important, as this is going to be the first piece that you pick out in your computer. You have different types of cases that you can choose from. Now, typically when you're studying for your A+, or if you're in school, they're probably just sticking to the basics and talking about the horizontal case, the full-size tower, the compact tower, and the all-in-one. Today, I'm going to talk to you about all of the different types, because this isn't all of the types that are out there. First, we have our horizontal cases. Now, these are less seen in society today. As you can see on the right, the IBM, basically these horizontal cases you put the monitor on top of, and they sit mainly in a business type setting. We don't see these a whole lot anymore, but we will sometimes still see them in business settings. The one on the left is an Optiplex 745, and this you can actually still see in some places, as Dell still makes a computer that can be a horizontal, or it can also be a vertical tower. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that is. That's actually also considered a slim case, and we'll talk more about that later. So the mid-tower case is probably the most popular. This is the one you see in your home. As you can see, it does not have a ton of space in it. It does house a full ATX motherboard inside of it. And as you can see on the right-hand side there, you have spaces for your optical drives and for your hard drives, your power supply down there at the bottom. But what you'll notice is that there really isn't a ton of room in here as far as for your hands. There's a little bit of room. There's a decent amount, but not a ton. So our next one is the full tower, and the full tower, as you can see in that picture on the right there, it's sitting next to a mid size case there, like you would have in your home, and the full tower case is much larger. So the full tower case has room not only for a full size ATX motherboard, but it also has tons of room for a power supply, possibly a second power supply, as well as room for extra cooling drives, and lots more fans. So again, this is a full tower. Not a whole lot of people use this. You'll use them a lot for maybe some servers and things like that. And some people may use them in their home. I do prefer this type of case myself, just because of all the extra room that you have in it to put a lot of fun features. Next, what you have is you have the compact tower. Now, this is smaller than your typical mid-tower case, but not by a ton. What they do is they make it a little bit more compact, more for businesses. So you'll find this in your businesses, your schools, things like that, in place of your horizontal case now, because the compact tower allows for more ability to upgrade and add more components, where the horizontal cases really had almost no room for expansion. The next thing that we have is what we call a slim case. So basically this is the size height-wise of your compact case, but it's much thinner. So what you'll find in this one, as well as your compact cases, a lot of times you'll find the micro ATX motherboards in these, which basically allows them to be much smaller than your mid and full tower cases that house the full ATX motherboards. These are really nice for businesses, as they're very small. They usually you can usually swap parts out super quick in these. Very nice, but it's also really important to note that in these, if you're going to add something like a graphics card, you need to make sure that you purchase a slim graphics card, slim form factor, in order to go in these. You cannot put a full-size graphics card into a slim case. The next thing that we have is we have a mini tower or micro tower. These actually run with one of our ITX version motherboards. You may find one that can fit a micro ATX motherboard in it. I have seen them, but they're a little bit more rare. Most of these now use the ITX motherboards that get even smaller. So these are perfect for like your college student who needs to pick up and go and move this computer around a lot. They're very small, very light, and very easy to use. But they also don't allow for your really top-end type power supplies and things like that. Lastly, what we have is we have the All-in-One PC. Now, Mac kind of really started the ball rolling on these, and other companies have now picked these up and kind of run with them. You have basically what are some ITX motherboards in the back. On the right there, you can see that there's very little room, so there's almost no expansion allowed for these devices, and you have the bare minimums: a motherboard, a little bit of RAM, you got your processor, your hard drive, and that's basically about it. Your CD-ROM drive, your optical drive, is sometimes built in, and many of them don't even have drives anymore. Usually you have to import everything you need through USB. So again, this is the All-in-One PC. You do have a few other types. If you look up, say, like the Intel NUC, that's an even tinier computer that also uses an ITX, a very small ITX motherboard, which we'll go through motherboards in our next segment here. But for now, these are your cases. Remember that it's very important to note your form factor of your case, because that's going to set the tone for what you pick as your motherboard, and then your motherboard's then going to set the tone for everything else that you're going to purchase. Make sure that you're purchasing something size-wise that's going to work for you, and then make sure that, again, you note that form factor. Note which form factor motherboards can go into it, and then go from there. A lot of your mid-size towers can fit either the full-size ATX or the micro ATX. You'll want to know that. So take a look at that, and good luck, and we'll talk, like I said, about motherboards in the next episode. Make sure you follow me here on YouTube, subscribe. Also, check out my website in the comments below if you're not already there for the rest of the videos in this series. And also for other tips, tricks, and videos on many other things. Thanks for watching.